Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I know, you're probably thinking, I thought you were supposed to be uploading videos regularly. Well, me too, but life happens. Welcome to being a vet student. So, I figured now that life has occurred and it's been over a year since I've last uploaded a video that it was time that I owed you guys one. And what better time than winter break when I officially have nothing on my schedule to do, except I definitely should be planning externships. So, on the note of the fact that I should be planning externships, what a better topic to talk about than clinics and externships. Also, I did get a dog, which is partially why I've been inactive. And she's a puppy and she's psycho, so right now she's not going to make an appearance until the very end of the video because your girl needs to focus on what is at hand. So I wanted my first video back to be about clinics and externships because, as many of you guys may know, again if you follow my Instagram, now that I am a third year at Virginia, Maryland College of Vet Med, we do clinics this summer after our second year for 5 blocks. So I have now been in the clinic for 5 blocks. It's a little bit unique. Some vet schools wait until summer after your third year or some combination of being a 4th year. The rest of my clinical rotations will be during 4th year, so I'm in the classroom for 1 more semester this semester, and then I finish up my MPH in the summer, and then once I am done with that, I just have clinics for another year. And we're just not going to talk about the NAVLE because we're going to pretend like that doesn't exist at the moment. So, clinics. It was the best. To say I am sad to be back in the classroom is an understatement. I know it's important to relearn things I don't know as well as I should, and I need to study more for the NAVLE and this and that, but like I would love to just be back in clinics and not in the classroom. But here we are. Anyways, so the 5 clinical rotations I had this past summer was, first I had LAMS, aka large animal medicine and surgery, which is basically horses with a couple livestock animals mixed in. Mostly horses though. I had it at the very beginning of summer, so it was foals galore. I had like 5 or 6 mare foal duo patients during the 3 weeks on the rotation, and they never leave the hospital because mare foal duos just really love to like be residents for a while before they want to leave. So I had a few patients that were there before and all the way through and after when I was on the block. The foal holds a very special place in my heart, but I never want to own a foal after that rotation. Anyways, that rotation was fantastic because I do love horses and it gave me some great equine surgical experience. I got to do some really cool stuff. I got to see some really cool stuff. I assisted in some surgeries. I got a lot of foal experience. I really did not have very much foal experience beforehand, and now I can definitely tackle a foal. Let's just say this. The foal I had was a Percheron foal. I don't know if you guys know what Percherons are, but they are very large horses. And the mare was about 2,000 pounds. Anyways, after that, I had one of my externships. So I had 3 externships for my 5 block summer. The first one was at University of Georgia at the Southeastern Cooperative Wildlife Disease Study, also known as SCWDS. And since I like wildlife, a lot of you guys know I like wildlife, I also like diseases, hence why I'm also getting my MPH. It was a great opportunity for me to get more wildlife disease experience, particularly hands-on necropsy experience with species I had never worked with before. This was like right in the midst of the very very prevalent high path AI outbreak. So we got tons of birds. I mean, we got eagles, waterfowl, hawks, other birds that I can't think of, poultry, turkey vultures. We got a lot of turkey vultures. Yeah, lots of birds. I have really never worked with birds before, but now I know my anatomy of many different types of birds. That's one of the great things about externships, is you get to work in many different settings and lots of new environments that allow you to be exposed to things that you have interest in, but that you have never been exposed to before. We also did some necropsies on some small mammals. We had some rabbits, which of course you do in the hood because of tularemia. If you guessed that, congratulations. Yeah, lots of necropsies. That externship was great because it was lots of hands-on necropsies. I did the majority of necropsies solo, so like, you know, with supervision, but like a lot of times we had so many animals at one time that we kind of had to like divvy up the work, like, okay, you do this bird, I do this bird, whatever, like. And then my third block, I was back in Blacksburg for emergency and critical care. Pretty self-explanatory. It was small animal emergency services within the vet school. The way our emergency service runs is it is basically broken up into very strict shifts. You either work day shifts or evening shifts. I had mostly evening shifts, so I would come in, I think at like 2 p.m. and I wouldn't leave until, well, my shift was until 12 a.m., but I was often there longer. Mostly by choice. If like a cool case came in, technically I was allowed to leave, but like I was also allowed to stay. A few times where I didn't leave the hospital until like 2 a.m. Let's just say that my sleep schedule has never been so. So, anyways, it was great. I got to participate / like do a lot of a mass removal surgery. I saw some very cool emergency cases. I actually discovered I really like emergency, which I'm not a small animal person, but like I loved placing drains. I loved like trauma cases, which I was just simply like not expecting to like. I had never worked in emergency before, but I really liked the high pace aspect of it. And to be honest, like I could kind of see myself working at least for a little bit of my time as a vet in an emergency hospital. I think it's pretty interesting. The cases are all like pretty different. And that was my last rotation in the Blacksburg hospital for the summer. After that, I just had 2 more externals. For my 4th block, I was at Blue Ridge Wildlife Center, which is a wildlife rehab hospital. It was a great practice. Again, talk about like hands-on skills, hands-on experiences that I had never had the opportunity of doing before. I got to perform a skin graft on an eastern rat snake. I did a leg amputation on a toad. I was performing x-rays, you know, on these animals myself. I was assisting in a hook removal of a snapping turtle. I mean, like the whole 9 yards. I got to work with so many different species. I got lots of experience with raptors, raptor handling, different types of injections, sub-Q, IM, intraperitoneal. Got a lot of work with birds, except obviously this time they were alive, so that was great. It was an amazing experience, like so much hands-on, so much surgery experience. It was like chef's kiss. That was my 4th one, and it was great too because at the time it was baby season, just like it was baby season during my large animal rotation. But this time I got a lot of experience with wildlife babies, particularly small mammals, which, you know, I really didn't have much experience with, like neonatal bunnies or neonatal possums. Actually, I take that back. I didn't really have any experience with possums, period. But yeah, so lots of great experience. Worked with lots of different species and learned a lot about the husbandry and nutrition and care of all of them in addition to the veterinary work. This last one was at University of Wyoming. It was at the Wyoming State Veterinary Lab. I worked with specifically one of the researchers that does a lot of stuff with chronic wasting disease and then also with Mycoplasma bovis. And when I was there, I actually got to go out to South Dakota for a bison sampling day. They are basically looking for Mycoplasma bovis in these different bison populations in various states. We worked on collecting nasal swabs and blood to basically collect data and see basically prevalence and what exactly we are dealing with Mycoplasma bovis in bison. It's very interesting if you want to look into it. There are actually articles on it. Honestly, I think it was like taking blood from a bison's jugular and sticking a giant nasal swab in a bison. Top 10 moments of my life, for sure. The idea was then once we came back to the lab, we were doing PCR, we were doing DNA extractions on those nasal swab samples. So I was really getting that field experience, but also that benchtop lab experience. You know, I was really appreciative of the other students in the lab that were really showing me the ropes and really allowing me to have these amazing opportunities, because honestly, my experience would not have been the same otherwise. And I'm just so thankful for the lab as a whole and, you know, having those opportunities and getting that exposure. I was even able to go on the necropsy floor a few times. I saw a dog necropsy, a cow necropsy. It was just like a really great all-around experience. And, you know, for somebody that likes wildlife disease stuff, like this was the epitome of a wildlife disease externship. Everything from necropsy to field work to benchtop work to research, like everything was encompassed in this externship, and it was amazing. All in all, I think it was a fantastic summer. I learned a lot of clinical skills. I got to apply a lot of knowledge. I got to meet a lot of amazing people. This is just like a recap of my summer experiences as a whole on my first 5 blocks of clinics. But if you guys are interested, I would also love to do a video on how I got these externship experiences. And if you are interested in a particular one, please reach out. I can give you maybe some tips and guidance for pursuing it or pursuing something similar. And then I also have more externships coming up in 4th year that I have already planned. So stay tuned for another video and I will keep you guys updated. Stay tuned because I really do want to show you guys all the ins and outs of clinics, externships, wildlife, zoo med, emergency med, who knows? But yeah, and then one takeaway out of all of this, when it comes to clinics, your classmates are your best friends. They are going to get you through clinics. You guys are going to have to ask each other for favors. You are going to have to lean on each other. Clinics sometimes means that you are very sleep deprived. And now is not the time for competition. It's just not. So my one takeaway out of all of this that you guys need to understand if you are about to go into clinics or if you're just looking ahead or whatever is your classmates are your best friends in clinics. You have blockmates that are on your rotation. You are going to spend a lot of time with them and you are going to need each other. The one reason why my large animal rotation was as great as it was because I had some phenomenal blockmates. We were there for each other. We had some great teamwork. When somebody had a very high load of work and they needed some assistance, somebody else stepped up to help them, and you just return favors like that. When you do something for someone else, they return the favor, and that is just how this works in clinics. So do not forget that. This is not a competition. Don't make it cutthroat. You guys need to be there for each other. So anyways, that wraps up this video. Hold on to your seats because I'm about to show you my puppy. She is a nut case, as I like to call her. This is Ivy. Ivy, say hi. Mwah. She's very large. She used to be very small, but that's what happens when you grow. So yeah, I got her DNA tested and she is 28% golden retriever. Who would have thought? She has made my life very interesting in the last 3 months. Come So that is that. That is a recap on my first set of clinical rotations and externships, and I'm so glad to finally be back in the groove of making YouTube videos. I'm so sorry it took me so long to make another one. I can't promise regular videos, and I'm not going to anymore. Vet school is just like not my friend when it comes to filming and editing videos, to be honest. But I do promise to make more as regular as I can and to answer any questions you guys have. And if you have any video requests, please drop them in the comments. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching and subscribing and tuning into my videos. So I will see you guys next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.